Heyo, how's it going? It's Reiner. That's my name. Well, it's actually my middle name. If you watch my earlier videos, you may have heard a different name that I went by, but I figure for my internet, I should probably have like an internet persona. So I'm gonna use my middle name for the internet. So my name is Reiner. Nice to meet you. S- I'm just gonna multitask while I do this, even though I actually can't multitask at all, like not even a little bit. So that's gonna make for a great video. These last couple of days have been interesting, to say the least. I have good moments. I have bad moments. Being on a break with somebody you love, and when you're so used to at least having some sort of sense of control, which isn't a good thing. You can't have control over life, but when you're so used to that control and you just have to give it up, cold turkey, it's like you're detoxing from a drug. Like love at its core is a drug, and it's so addictive that you lose yourself. And I think that's what I've started to do in my relationship, is lose myself, because I was giving 100% of myself to the relationship and leaving none for me whatsoever. And I think the lesson that I need to learn here is to detach healthily from my relationship, to be open to the fact of just letting go, to be open to letting go more so. In my relationship, I really felt like I was giving her everything that she could ever need. Love, attention, communication, support, reassurance. But what I have realized through being on my own is that I think what I was giving her is 100% of what I need in a relationship, and I was figuring that she would also need those things. And it's very tough to understand somebody's different needs than your own, because at least for me, it doesn't make any fucking sense, because I only know what my needs are. And I think it's really easy to think like, if I give my person what I would want, that would make them happy, because that's what I would want for me. But it's never as easy as that. And one of the hardest parts about being in a relationship, I think, is figuring out the needs of the other person and learning to step out of your comfort zone to give them the needs that they need to feel safe and respected and loved. Like, for instance, my partner needs a lot of space when we have stressors in our life. Not even conflict. I mean, conflict is obviously a stressor, but when she's even dealing with personal stressors that have nothing to do with me, she needs space and time to figure it out internally and get a hold on it internally before she's comfortable sharing and talking about it. And I am the complete opposite way. I need to talk. I need to babble and say shit that doesn't make any sense, and I just need to get all of my thoughts that are like, it's like a beehive in my head sometimes with all the different thoughts going on. And if I can get them out of my head one at a time, then I could slowly empty the thoughts that are bouncing around in my head, and then actually get some sort of semblance of working towards a solution. So I think, I also think I would, especially for me, I'm an overthinker. I deal with a lot of insecurity. I deal with a lot of anxiety and jealousy, which are all great combos in a relationship, aren't they? But it's something that I admit that I need to work on. But I got to the point, and I'm going to give my partner some grace here, but I don't exactly entirely agree with everything that she said. And I think that's important in a relationship, to have the respect for your partner to be able to say, I don't agree with you. I'm not saying she's wrong. I don't think there's right or wrong particularly, but I don't agree with her. But I will tell you what she told me. is that since she felt I was operating from a standpoint of insecurity and anxiety, she didn't feel safe enough to bring things up to me that could potentially hurt me, not out of a want to hurt me, but out of, like in order to grow, sometimes you need to feel pain. But she didn't feel like I was in a space good enough to handle the things that she had to tell me. And so she held it inside and didn't tell me things. And the more that she didn't tell me things, the more that my insecurity and anxiety rose. And it was just like me trying to reach out and communicate with her, and that made her pull back even more because she could sense sort of the desperation from my insecurity and anxiety that would trigger her more so to say, oh, it's even less safe now. And I don't think it's any fault of either party, but the part where I will disagree with her is you have to communicate in a relationship, even if it hurts. She took away my choice to decide whether or not I was ready to hear the things she had to say. I think there are ways you can approach situations like that. I think if she had told me that she has things that she wants to say to me, but she's not trying to hurt me, and she's worried that telling me might hurt me, I think that would have gone over a lot better than just deciding for me not to tell me and then holding it inside until it all bubbled up and we both exploded at each other. But that's the part of learning and growing. And my partner is not a bad person. I have not lost love for her. I don't look at her any differently. I think we are two different people trying to make a relationship work, which is what everybody's doing all the time when they're in a relationship, because you'll never find somebody exactly like yourself. So you're always going to have things that you don't particularly like in a relationship. That's just how relationships work. There's always going to be things that you disagree on. There's going to be ways that you guys adapt and respond to trauma, stress, conflict. There's going to be little things that you don't agree with in your partner. And it's not about hoping that they change, hoping that, loving them or loving the potential that they could be. It's about loving them as they are and figuring out a way to coexist with a completely different person. You'll never be able to change somebody. You cannot love the potential of somebody. You have to love them for who they are. And that is something that I have been figuring out, because I think, and it's tough to say, but I think I was loving the potential of my girlfriend. I think I was internally thinking, if she could just get over this hump to communicate, we will be so much happier. But it's not like, it's not a hump. It's a part of her. It's how she deals with stress. She can't change that. And so it's up to not only just me, it's up to her as well. The relationship is give and take. It's relationships are supposed to be 60%, 40%, but both parties are trying to be the 60%. And I think what I'm figuring out is I felt that I was given more than 60% and she was giving less than her share. And that sucks. Sucks for multiple reasons. I think I am worth her giving me more effort. Effort to try and communicate, effort to try and collaborate on ways that we could come together. I think more effort in just affection in general. And the issue is I didn't tell her these things. I don't even think I really realized them until I was on my own. And then I was realizing all these things that I hadn't been giving myself, that I had been relying on her to give me, but she wasn't giving me that either. And so I was just feeling worse and worse and worse about myself. And there's two issues there with that. For one, I need to be able to give it to myself. I need to be able to self-soothe and be okay with myself. I cannot rely on her to give me everything I need. The second issue is that I think I'm worth effort. I think I'm worth being shown effort in collaboration, in affection, in the relationship. So we have two issues. And of those two issues, I can address one with myself. Oh, God damn it. Yeah.
Can I come in?
Yeah. Ah, they look lovely.
Doesn't it look good?
They look really good.
I'm like...
And they smell good, too.
Can you smell them already?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, amazing. I'm just really proud of myself.
You should.
I haven't been able to make crinkle cookies in a while.
You should be proud of yourself.
Thanks,
You're welcome. Would you mind closing the door?
Pardon?
Could you close the door?
Which one, this one or yours?
That one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My mother, everybody. I'm cutting that part out. Hopefully I remember. If I don't, it's really not that embarrassing. That's my mom, and she's lovely, and she made cookies for Christmas. Who the fuck doesn't love that? But it doesn't pertain to the video. I'm flustered now. Give me a second. Okay, so this book, Living Untethered Beyond the Human Predicament. I have read, how many pages now? I think I had read up to almost 70 pages. Not yesterday, but the day before, because I didn't do a video. Sorry. I am now at page 87. And I remember talking about how this book was talking about, I don't think intentionally, but giving sort of the vibe of like, this is how big the universe is. You're just a small speck. Your problems aren't that big. And that kind of thought process doesn't really work with me for multiple reasons. For one, I don't give a shit how small I am. My problems are my problems. And I'm worth it. And that means my problems are worth addressing. I don't think having the answer be, oh, you're on a floating rock in space. Who gives a shit? Like, that might work for some people and for some problems. But when it comes to dealing with trauma, dealing with relying on other people to give me what I need, I cannot just simply say like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. It is to me. It's the basis of my whole life right now is what I'm trying to undo. But more or less, that's the vibe I get, but I don't think that's the message that the book is trying to send. I'm just trying to figure out what the message actually is. Because I'm reading it and I'm a little lost, but I have heard good things about this book. And I think if I get further into the actual, the lessons in this book, I think I will be more happy with this book. Because as of right now, I don't want to say I'm skipping pages, but I'm certainly like skimming it, trying to get to the good shit that can help me. But yeah, I'll keep reading that. I'll keep, trying to apply those things. One thing that I've been finding very, very, very helpful, especially I'm sorry, when I talk a lot, I produce a lot of saliva, so I keep having to take breaks and do whatever. Let me just grab some water. This is awkward. I'm out of frame now. Don't listen to me drink. It's going to be awkward. I swear I'm slim. I don't have... That's awkward. I swear I'm slim. I don't have a big gut. It's just a sweater. Look at my shirt. Smooth. Okay. Shit, did I spill water? Or am I good? I think I'm good, homie. I think I'm good. All right, well. So, anyways, as I was saying, sorry, you're just going to have to deal with this. As I was saying, one thing that's been very helpful for me is visualizing myself being there for little me. And you probably, if you're watching this, me talk about this bullshit, you have gone down so far down the rabbit hole. You definitely know what this is, but I'll just explain it anyways. It's where you visualize yourself you visualize your younger self and you as you are now, being the parent for the little self, being the guardian that your little self didn't get, giving whatever you were missing in childhood. You visualize yourself talking to your younger self and giving them what they need, whether that be support, unconditional love, just a hand to hold. And it's been really helpful, especially when things get tough for me. Tough for me either mentally, jealousy wise, anxiety wise. I think it's been really helpful to take a step back and focus on where the root really lies, which is within me and the little kid version of me that got yelled at instead of getting hugged. So visualizing myself as I am now, protecting that little one. And in the case of me and my trauma, I literally talk to my younger self and I literally say, like, I'm here. I will not abandon you. I love you unconditionally and I got you. And it does, I literally, like, I feel some sort of chemical change when I really take the time and focus on it. And it's like a meditative process for me. I've always kind of struggled with meditative processes, and I will say this book at the start of it really does give a good, it's not like a tutorial on how to meditate, but it gives you like a good visualization that you can do when you meditate. So for that, I'd already say that this is a worthwhile read just for that part. And it's only like the first 5 chapters. So you can like literally go to the bookstore, read this, and then put it back if you don't like anything else I have to say about it. But that has really helped me in the case of being on a break with my girlfriend, still together, but, letting go of control, which is something I really struggle with, because the moment I let go of control, I find the fear of abandonment increases intensely, especially when she goes out and she does stuff with her friends without me, because that, to me, and before I say this is ridiculous. And I don't expect you to agree. I don't expect you to understand. This is just what I struggle with. When she goes out to do something without me, I take it as a rejection of me and the relationship. Like, I think, why wasn't I good enough? Why wasn't I worth it to you for you to want me to come along? And that is simply unhealthy and not realistic, because I do things without her and it's not anything to do with her. It's just me living my own life. And I know, logically, her going to do stuff with her friends has nothing to do with me. It's not about rejecting me. It's not about rejecting the relationship. It's about her living her own life. So the fact that I struggle with it, I think, is a big, it's a tough thing for me to deal with. So, like I said, I think it does trigger that wound of being abandoned and feeling left out and feeling not worth it to be invited along, because that is something that, call it what it is. It's trauma that I gained through years and years of not having friends in school and not, following people around desperately trying to be their friend, but never being invited out. And I think after years of that, you get rejected so many times that you start to, like, the thought process you start to degrade yourself internally. You start to believing things about yourself that aren't true. Like, I'm not good enough. If I was good enough, they would want to be my friend. You just start, at least in the case of me, I started thinking those kinds of thoughts where I wasn't worth it. I wasn't a good person. I wasn't good to be around. I didn't think I was charismatic until like last year. And I've found friends and people who have shown me that I am worth being around and that I am charismatic. I'm funny. I'm kind, and I'm a good person to be around. And the problem is that none of those people in my past ever took the time to give me a chance to try to get to know me. And that was their loss, but also my fault for giving them way more time than they ever even fucking deserved from me. Because I'm a cool person to be around. I can confidently say that now. It's just now the being there for the little me who's still stuck in that time of trauma. Yeah, and it's pretty amazing being able to be there for younger me and to know the truth that I know now. Knowing that I am a charismatic, funny, kind person who people they enjoy being around me, especially when they get the chance to know me, when they give me the chance to know me on that deeper level. Because I'm not built for surface level connections. I'm built for deeper connections with everybody. Like the people that I know and the people that I truly am friends with, they're more than just friends or acquaintances. Like, I have one younger brother, but really I have one younger brother, four older brothers, and like six older sisters, because that's the type of connection that I build with people. And then I have a bunch of friends who are just like really close, who like I feel very platonic, strong love for them because they are just so special to me and so much fun to be around. And I genuinely like it fills the void within me to make connections with people, not just romantic connections, but friend connections, family connections, all of it. And I'm built to connect with people. So the fact that for so many years of my life, I thought that I wasn't worth connecting with, I think changed my thought process, changed my opinion of myself. I think that's the first time I've ever actually realized that. And I'm saying it out loud. Oh, God damn it. Give me 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. My mother walked down here again. I love her to death. I do. And there's a lot that I've forgiven my mom for as well. And that's another thing. Forgiveness isn't something that you give another person. Forgiveness is something you give yourself. And what you choose to do with that forgiveness is completely up to you. Leo Skepi, phenomenal person. Leo Skepi, I've loved listening to him talk just about mental health, forgiveness. I think he's got a very unique mindset of it, and I think I love it. So, I mean, if you're watching me, you definitely know who Leo Skepi is, and if you don't, boy, or do you need to thank me for me putting you on to some good shit. I'd say anything mental health wise, especially relationship wise, watch his videos. They're very good. Another thing that's really helped me lately is, I deleted Instagram off of my phone. Not like my profile or anything, but I deleted my access to it. Because my girlfriend posts stories and posts all the time, and especially now that we're on a break, it does trigger my anxiety. It does trigger my fight or flight response, because especially since we're not together, and this is probably not true at all, and I'm just overthinking it, but to me it triggers that response of like, she's looking for somebody better. She's hoping somebody better will reach out to her through these stories and posts, which isn't healthy for me or for her, because I don't believe that's what she's doing. And for me to be thinking that way, it's got to be hard on her to want to post stories and know that she's doing that to me. Even though I support her fully in her expressing herself creatively and on social media, because I know logically that doesn't make any sense. And I'm just holding her back if I ever like try to control her in that way. But even still, just the knowledge of her knowing it affects me that way is almost like a form of control. Even though I tell her I want her to post, I want her to express herself creatively and to not worry about me because it's something that I'm working on. She's somebody who loves and cares about me, so her not wanting to hurt me, it's kind of a form of control. One that I don't fully agree with, but I do see her point with it, which is something that she's brought up to me. But I digress. Because she's on a break and we're on a break, She's posting, and I know that she knows that it's hard for me to see. But I think she's taken this time to, sorry, I heard it. I think she's taken this time to express herself creatively and figure out what she wants to do in life, career wise. And so I deleted Instagram to just cut off my access to that, and it helps a lot. And another thing that I will do, that I will say I've done, that has been helpful for me, and it's kind of disrespectful to my girlfriend. Not in like a, oh, I look at other girls way. I've muted her text messages. I don't get alerts when she texts anymore. I don't get like the little icon doesn't pop up. I get no notification besides if I actually go into my text messages app, which I don't usually do because I just message people on other stuff. And this has been helpful for me because I'm such a people pleaser that the moment she texts, I will drop literally everything to respond instantly. Instantly. If I feel like if I don't respond instantly, she's moving on to somebody else. Irrational, yes. Stupid, absolutely. It doesn't make any sense, and it's pretty disrespectful to her to think that way, which is why I'm like training myself out of being available to her 24/7. And it's very helpful, actually. It's kind of freeing to know that I'm taking back my own time and space and letting it go, in the sense of if she decides for whatever stupid reason that I don't respond fast enough to her and she wants to end the relationship, then let her go. Like, okay, go find that unrealistic expectation somewhere else. Obviously, she's not going to do that because that's asinine and it's just an irrational overthinking fear of mine. But what I've done is muted it so I don't get alerts anymore, and it's very helpful. And I find it to be a little disrespectful just because I'm like basically saying I'll only answer you on my time when I think to check my messages, and it's not going to be forever, but it's just to get me over this initial hump of being like, she texted, I got to respond right now. I got to drop fucking everything and respond right now. So yeah, don't tell my girlfriend I said that, or do. I think she would appreciate the fact that I'm taking steps to better myself for me, but also for the relationship. If there is a relationship at the end of this, which unfortunately, that is a question, and one that I'm not too keen on thinking about. So I feel like I've been distracting myself a fair amount. But today I've really just taken the time to sit with that. What would that look like? What would that feel like? It would feel sad. It would feel sucky. It would feel horrible, actually. Like the worst fucking thing ever. Yeah, then that's about all I have to say about that. Obviously, I'd be fine. And she'd be fine. And at the end of the day, I truly love her. And that means I want her to have the best life possible. And if that means it's not with me, then I want her to not be with me. Because that would also mean that my best life wouldn't be with her. And I'm going to live my best life no matter what. And I want her to live her best life no matter what. I do think I'm good for her, obviously. I mean, I'm thoughtful. I put an effort to, especially to work on myself and give her space and give her the needs that she needs. Yeah, I mean, throughout this break, I think more questions are rising up in my head, and maybe questions that I don't have the answers to quite yet. Like, is this relationship good for me? I feel like the relationship is good for her. Is it good for me? Like, we're two very different people with very different mindsets. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. In fact, that's one of the things that I love about her is her mindset. She's just so driven, so smart, and so expressive, so creative, and just such a willingness to try and fail. And that's something that I love. I love people like that. And I want to spend my life next to somebody like that, But I also think it's okay to have preferences. It's okay to have things that are non-negotiables for you in a relationship. And especially for standards. One of my favorite things that Leo Skeppy has ever said, which has actually like changed my brain chemistry a little bit, is if I can deliver on something, I have every right to demand it in return. Meaning, my standards, I can deliver on everything I ask for in a relationship. My standards are probably too high for a lot of people, but they're not too high for me. Everything I ask for, I can deliver on. I can meet my own standards, and I demand somebody else meet my own standards for me. And I demand that I meet somebody else's standards. And maybe that sounds really mean, or maybe that sounds perfectly normal. Maybe you aren't surprised by that at all. You're just like, yeah, that's how shit works. Okay, smartass, thanks. But I wasn't fucking asking. I'm just kidding, I was. You're not a smartass. I'm the smartass. So anyways, that's been life lately. I'm going to be going back to my home. Not tomorrow. The day after. Wednesday. I'm going to see my kitty cats, finally. I miss them dearly. I miss their purrs. And I miss their affection, especially when I get home. I love my family dearly, and I think there's an aspect of living on my own that I miss. And also, it could get very lonely and pretty depressing, but it'll also be, I feel like that's where I figure out the most about myself is when I don't have that crutch of family to lean on. I mean, I always have that crutch to lean on, but they're not physically there with me, Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've said everything I need to say for now. I think just in taking a break and taking a step back and letting go, I'm letting my silence speak volumes. I'm letting my absence speak for me. And I think she's realizing what a mistake it would be if she decided she didn't want to continue the relationship. Maybe that's selfish and egotistical of me to say. Probably is. But I think I'm worth it. I think I'm a really good boyfriend. I think I care a lot. I think I have a lot of patience. I think I have a lot of empathy and sympathy for my partner. I don't get annoyed quickly. I can be with you through the good and the bad and still see you the same and still love you all through your phases of growth, all through everything. And this is another phase of growth. And I still love my girlfriend through it, even though we're not together. I mean, we're still together. We're just, we're still committed to each other. We're just not seeing each other at the moment, but we're not seeing anybody else. I'm not, and I'm trusting she's not. And that's good enough for me. So yeah, this is where I leave you today. Thank you guys for supporting me on this. Yeah, I guess that's it. Anything. I really hope that somebody who's going through the same situation as me can watch this and know that they're not alone. Because I think this is one of the most alone feelings in the world. And I just want everybody to know, if you're going through this, you're certainly not alone. I'm here with you, and you're here with me. And the worst part about love is that sometimes you have to let it go in order to truly express love. Especially when you know it's not good. And for my final act of love, I will cross any boundary. I will do anything to express my love. Yeah. That's it. Deuces. aces, all that good jazz. I swear it's just a sweater that's big. Don't think otherwise. Peace.